Greetings, everybody. Today I'm going to be speaking about this incident that took place on a U.S. Navy ship in around 1968-69. And what happened? It was well, first this show you this image here, and it's a supposedly official Navy photo. Even says so here on the side by I guess a cameraman or a photographer aboard the ship. Somehow it came out, and this photo is it's on the internet as well. It's on YouTube, so it's already out there. It's not a secret. I think William Tompkins verified this image as genuine. But it took place on board the USS Coral Sea, and these ETs landed on the carrier, and the crewmen weren't allowed on the deck. They were kept below, only essential personnel. Some ETs landed, and one was green skin, turquoise green, and the others were like they weren't green. They were like normal humans looking, but they were Pleiadian, according to the green ET. I think it mentions somewhere in some other videos they were Nordics or something, but the green ET said they were Pleiadians, but they look similar. So I have a recording by a Navy crewman, eyewitness, still living, or was at the time of this recording, and he described what happened. And I'll play that here in a minute. I just want to give you a summary in case you can't understand, can't hear the audio. It's an audio. So he was a Navy crewman, probably I think hospital corpsman, which is a medic or a male nurse, since they didn't have female crew members back then. It was all male Navy, and so basically he was a nurse or a medical technician. And what they were doing, they were checking out. What happened was the ETs met with the top Navy people and military, top Navy military, U.S. military, also generals, admirals, and so on. And General Westmoreland was one of them, and he also mentioned that the admiral at the time was Admiral Zumwalt, admiral of the Navy. I think it's what anyway, he mentions, I'm not sure if it was the admiral on the ship or the admiral, if he was admiral over the whole Navy, but anyway, he mentioned Admiral Zumwalt was admiral at the time, and he also mentioned that Nixon was president at the time. I know Nixon, I guess, won the election in November, and he got sworn in January, so it's 68, 69, around there. And he describes the ship being black like that, and the silver legs, landing gear or legs. And he also said that the ship just appeared. 1 second it's not there, next second it's there. So it didn't come in flying, landing. It just appeared. Boom, there it is. Also, these aircraft, or these these back here with these fuel rods or fuel probes, or these are A6 aircraft. These are there's two types. There's one was for an attack, which carry bombs for attack modes, and there's another A6 that they use for electronic jamming. Well, they use the same aircraft for two different purposes. And I think this one here is an F4 Phantom, because I looked on Google and looked up this squadron, this VF-84. It stands for fixed wing F. It's fighter. It's a fighter aircraft. It's not specifically an attack mode. It's mostly a fighter. And as you can see, notice this black stripe here and this E right here, and I'll show you a picture of another F4 that it was I guess stationed on a different ship, and they usually put the names of the ships on they're assigned to, because they rotate them every time they go out on a Navy cruise, on patrol overseas, on maneuvers, whatever you want to call it. And they usually paint their names on their aircraft somewhere, like right here or somewhere on the aircraft. And let me switch over to this here, and as you can see, there's that black stripe with the little whatever triangles are in the middle, the number 84 and the E right here. So is this I'm pretty sure it's this F4 Phantom. And you notice the name of the aircraft, the ship here. So on the other one you can't see it because there's something in the way, or they could paint it somewhere else on the aircraft. So let me go back to the this image, and there you see the black stripe with the little triangles are in the middle, and the E right here, and you can't see back here because of these cables or whatever it's coming across here. But anyway, the crewman describes the ship, and the ET asks him some questions and so on. And there's a lady speaking that's it's the host of the interview, I guess. Anyway, the ET says that the reason they were there, they met with the top brass of the military, was to discuss starting up a space fleet for the for the United States. Space fleet, meaning ships to fly in space. Not a program, not a space program, but a space fleet. They already had a space program really before this. They just, I guess they wanted to push him along to develop a space fleet, which probably is today the secret space program. And so, as you can see, the military's, or at least the U.S. military, has been in contact with these ETs for not just decades, or actually, decades, but not just years, but decades. So that, I'm guessing that's how the secret space program started. And they've been keeping this quiet, I guess, all this time. So, when they disclosed this little radar UFOs on TV, like some identified flying object or whatever. What they're not telling you is they already met these ETs and been working with them and getting technology from them and signing treaties and what have you. So they just been keeping it quiet. So I just want to put this video out, and of course this picture's already out on the internet, so it's no big deal. I'm just adding information that that's ET put out on the internet, basically. So I'll also it's not on the, I don't think it's on the audio that he actually states that we're discussing space fleet, but because of the conversation was spread out over the interview, I just wanted to add that in there because it's I don't believe it's in there. Another one at the end that the crewman mentions a friend of his told him a story about Nixon. He said that a friend of him told him that he was stationed at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and then Nixon came down and went to actually see the bodies of ETs. And he said he took a friend with him, and this friend was, at the time, there was a comedian on TV, and this comedian was Jackie Gleason. He had the Jackie Gleason show back in the whatever 60s or 70s, whatever. And anyway, that's what a story a friend of the crewman told him. So I didn't include that on there because it was just somebody else's account. So anyway, I just thought I'd add that in there. But let me play this audio, and hopefully you can hear it.
Ask that question again for Michael. Ask Michael.
Do you have any questions for me? Indeed. What did you think when the turquoise-colored skin, turquoise-green-colored skin being looked directly at you? Yes. It's, I was rather taken back by that. they do. And the lady that was with them, you have all, here we are, out at sea. She was, she looked like a model. And the men did too. Like in the Sears and Roebuck catalog. And they were very, they weren't, all serious, in their demeanor. They were more caring and loving and somewhat jovial. And they have a sense of humor that's wonderful. I like their sense of humor.
Did you get a chance to talk with any of them?
Just briefly. And it was just basically just small talk. Because we weren't allowed to ask any questions about, about the ship or them or anything. We just would cordially greet them, ask them, well, how are you today, and that kind of a thing. And it's very small talk, but the brass, the captains, the admirals, the generals, were in conversation with them as we did the physicals. We didn't do the physicals on the extraterrestrials. We did them on the admirals, the captains, and the generals. Actually, Westmoreland was one of them.
Really?
Yes, General Westmoreland. And,
The president was knowledgeable about this. Is that correct? Who was the president then, and he was knowledgeable about all of this, apparently, huh?
One other, Admiral Zumwalt, during that time period was there. So, Admiral Zumwalt, during that time period, that was 68 to 69 when this was happening on board the Coral Sea. And
The president was knowledgeable about this.
oh, absolutely.
And that was president, what president was then?
That was Nixon.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Speaking of President Nixon, did you folks ever hear the story about
Okay, then he goes into the story about the friend of his or somebody that talking about Nixon going to Patterson Air Force Base to see the bodies of some ETs, and but since that was information from another source, I just kind of left that out. But anyway, I just thought I'd add it in. But they were taking, like he said, they were doing physicals on the military generals and admirals and captains and generals and so on. So they, I think also at another point of the audio, the brass, the military leaders went aboard this ship, which is probably a scout ship. Anyway, they went on board and they took them to the mothership. Or they met somewhere, probably the mothership, and because on some other videos I saw online they mentioned that, and I can't remember if it was on this audio, but anyway, they met with the ETs and I guess their higher ups, or about basically it was about starting up a space fleet. So that's what this visit was about, and anyway, I thought I'd share this with you. There, like I say, this image is already out on YouTube. There's other videos. If you look for this image, there are other videos out there that speak about more information about on their videos. They speak about that this was a regular occurrence on these Navy ships back then. So anyway, I hope you liked the this video, and I hope you share it. Thanks.